Expiration day isn't about making the same trade 4 times. Today, every ETF needed something different. I wasn't even sure that my gold roll would fill. My SPY roll executed while I wasn't looking or even online. QQQ practically managed itself, and VIG, I'm still trying to save 100 shares from assignment. None of these were problems. They were just different situations that needed different responses. So let's walk through them. Let's take a look at GLD. This was the position that I was watching most closely today. I had 2 puts in the money, and gold was already above the 10% allocation that I want for this portfolio. I thought I might have to accept assignment and use my de-assignment process later. Instead, I entered a roll order, left it working in the background while I moved on to other positions, and later it filled. Gold has pulled back to $368 a share, and I have 2 cash secured puts at $395 expiring today. Since I want gold taking up about 10% of my portfolio, my share count is about right. But if I'm assigned to buy 200 more shares today, I will have more gold than I want in this account. So I'm going to roll them out to August and see if I can lower my strike price. I looked at several options. If I roll straight out to $395, I can bring in between $70 and $135, but I would like to lower my strike. When I tried to lower it to $393, I realized I would have to pay to do that. So I'm splitting the difference, and I'm going to roll out to $394. The premium I bring in will not be worth much. I'm going to ask for 50 cents a share for these 200 shares. And since it didn't fill, I'm going to drop my ask to 40. I'm putting in an order to roll for 40 cents a share for 200 shares, hoping that will fill by the end of the day, but knowing that it is perfectly fine if it doesn't, I can come back and fix it on Monday. Now on to the next position. QQQ could not have been more different. Everything was comfortably out of the money. So instead of rolling anything, I simply sold a new put and a new covered call, collected fresh premium, and immediately turned some of that income into more shares. Nice and simple. My QQQ position is about where I want it as far as position size. I have a $650 put and 2 out-of-the-money calls, all expiring at the end of the day today. So I'm going to roll the $650 put and the $750 call and see what kind of income I can generate and possibly buy 1 more share. Let's see if I can bring in $728 or a little better by rolling this put. Now I'll put in the order for the call. I've had trouble getting some of my rolls to execute on this platform. And since I have the cash available and I feel very confident that all 3 of these are going to expire out of the money today, I'm just going to sell outright a $650 put and a $750 call, both of them expiring on August 31st. The put filled at $731 and the call filled at $368. The collateral value for the cash secured put is $65,000, giving me an annualized rate of return of 11.72%. For the covered call, I'm going to use the current share price of $699.34, giving me an annualized rate of return of 5.48%, which would be on top of any potential capital gains if the shares are called away at $750. So I just brought in almost $1,100, and since the share price is down a little bit, I'm going to pick up another share or 2. This series is not about maximizing option premium. It's about managing a retirement portfolio using options as a tool. Every position has a target allocation. Every position has a different job. My goal is to keep building ownership while responding to what's actually happening and not forcing every ETF into the same strategy. So that order just filled at $698.94. So I just spent $1,397.88 to add 2 more shares to this account. I am out of pocket $221,511.97, and I have 344 shares for an average investment per share of $643.93. And I just got a notice up here about gold, so it looks like that one may have filled. I'll go back to it in just a second. So these 2 calls should expire at the end of the day, along with this put, and then I will have 1 put and 1 call. All right, so since I just got that notice, let's look and see what happened with gold. I had placed a roll order to reduce my strike price by $1 and avoid assignment today while I wait for the price of gold to recover. And it looks like that happened, so let's go back and put that on the spreadsheet as well. Well, I received a really trivial premium, but I did not give back any of my gains. And now instead of $79,000 securing these puts, I'm using $394 times 2 contracts times 100 shares per contract is $78,800 for a very meager 1.04% return. But what I got was another 35 days of not being assigned and a slight reduction in my strike price, which I hope will make the next roll a little easier. That order let me lower both strikes by another $1, move the expiration out a month, and keep every dollar of profit that I've already earned. That's exactly the kind of patient trade management that I like. Okay, so gold is taken care of, QQQ taken care of, and now we come to SPY. SPY gave me a pleasant surprise. I had left an aspirational order to roll 2 covered calls up and out of the money. It filled when I wasn't watching and when I wasn't even online. Now, those calls are back out of the money. I collected a net credit and I had enough premium left over to buy more shares. A while back, I had put in what I call an aspirational order to roll the SPY call from 740 to 750. And when I checked my account today, I see that that order filled today on expiration day. So I increased the strike price by $10 and I was paid $7.46 a share. So I'm going to start by putting that on the spreadsheet, and then let's look at the position and see where things stand as far as my goal of this SPY taking up about 25% of the portfolio. Okay, looking back, I have 2 contracts expiring now on August 21st. They are $750 calls, and the current share price is $744.26. So these 2 calls are out of the money. I received $746 per contract, but I actually rolled 2 contracts. So $1,492 came into the account. I'm going to use today's share price for my collateral value to calculate the return on this roll. So based on 200 shares that are worth $148,872 right now, a $1,492 premium on a 35-day contract gives me an annualized rate of return of 10.45% on top of whatever capital gains I may get if these shares are called away. So that was a great roll, and I'm really glad that I had put that order in ahead of time. It rolled out of the money, eliminated my immediate assignment risk, and means that I'll get an extra $2,000 if it is assigned. And as for this $680 cash secured put, because I'm trading in an IRA, I don't have access to margin. So let's see if I can close this one and sell a new one. And if not, I'll wait and do it on Monday. While I'm here, I'm going to use some of the cash I just generated to offset the cost of adding a few shares to this account. My net liquidity right now is $221,000, which is a little less than 1/4 of my current account value. I'm going to pick up 5 more shares. And I see that order filled at $743.86. So my out-of-pocket is $202,860 divided by the 302 shares I now own. Gives me an average investment per share of $671.72 for shares that are worth about $744. The net liquidity of the entire position is $222,275. So my profits on this position continue to grow. The last time I checked, I was at about a $14,000 profit, and now I am up just above $19,000. And if this cash secured put does not close so I can sell a new one, I will take care of that one on Monday as well. And now to VIG. VIG is where things get interesting. This is the one position that is still giving me something to think about. My covered call has moved into the money, and I would really like to keep those shares if I can. If I can't, that's okay. I'll lock in a profit. But if I can roll the call back out of the money for a reasonable credit, I'd rather keep building this position. So let's see what those numbers look like. This one is a little bit more complicated than the others. I have 2 calls, one expiring today and one expiring on August 21st, and they are both in the money. I have 688 shares that are generating income for me, and I would really like to get these 2 positions out of the money. But I may not be able to get this 235 to roll, and if not, I'm just going to have to accept assignment, lock in those profits, and start selling more cash secured puts. So if I roll it straight out to August 21st, I might be able to bring in $170 to $300. If I roll it up to $240 to get it out of the money, I probably cannot generate much of a credit. If I go out to September, I might be able to get it up to $245, probably not. So I'm going to see if I can roll it out to $240 August 21st. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. I'm going to leave this order here in my working orders, not really expecting much. So at the end of the day, I will probably have 588 shares instead of 688 shares. So I have a $230 call expiring on August 21st. And you may recall that my goal is to get VIG occupying about 40% of my portfolio. So I can be using up to $400,000 or even a little bit more on this position. So I'm going to sell some covered calls and hope to pick up some more shares. I'm going to sell 2 calls at the $230 strike. And I'm going to sell 2 at the $235 strike. And since I know there will be an ex-dividend date sometime at the end of September, I'm going to go ahead and sell a $235 strike expiring September 18th. Okay, the $230 puts filled at 108. So I'm using $46,000 to secure them and receive $214.68 for those 2 puts. The $235 put filled at 180. And as for the September 18th put, I haven't been able to get that to fill, so I'm just going to go ahead and cancel it, and I will try again later. And until we get to the end of the trading day, when some of these out-of-the-money puts expire, I have used up my existing buying power. So I'm going to stop for now. And I'll see where things land on Monday after all of these contracts resolve. And that is my monthly expiration day. 4 ETFs, 4 completely different situations. None of them were emergencies. None of them required predicting the market. They just required responding to what the market actually gave me. That's the part of options trading that I enjoy most. As this portfolio grows, I'm finding that individual trades become less important than the portfolio as a whole. The objective isn't to win every trade. It is to steadily build a retirement portfolio that matches my goals, my income needs, and my tolerance for risk. Thanks for following along, and I'll see you in the next update.